Hey folks, Würfel here, and I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late with this video now. I know we already have May, but there are some changes in the background that need to be tackled down first. One of them is, you see the image now should be much clearer. I also have a new surface to display my stuff. All the settings and stuff around here is now much nicer and set up, which took me a little bit to twiggle around with. So, last we left off with this box here, the everyday dice carry. And you can see that's the same box from the last time. I just threw in some dice here. But you can hear it's quite loud. And that's not very nice. And also the dice, fall over the place. And that's also not very nice. And I know there are some folks out there that like it a little bit more organized. And for that reason, I decided to make an insert so you can sort your stuff a little bit better. You just click it in and it's made without any special tolerances and it will fit regardless of the settings of your printer. If it might end up to being a little bit too loose, you just slightly scale it up to make it fit. And if it's a little bit too big, the material is flexible enough so you can just press fit it in and everything's nice and safe. And now we are able to put all our dice in here. And regardless of what I'm doing here, they should still be in their place. Yeah, it's still fairly loud, and there's also one issue. How the heck will I know which side is which when I came up with this from my backpack? For that reason, you can simply just add a second insert here. But in case you wanted to use this side as a rolling area, I decided to make boxes that only have one side with some artwork. In this case, I played around and put my logo on it. Also, about the noise. With some simple fabric here, you can dampen a lot of that. In this case, I just put them in loosely. You can attach them with a little bit of glue stick, which works fairly well, and I'm quite surprised how good a simple glue stick holds to that plastic. And in this case here, I just take two of the inserts and throw those in, and you just press that down. I also made them not too thick, so there's a little bit of room for the fabric so they still close nicely. And now you can hopefully see and hear the magic. When you close this, yeah, that's already a lot better. And regardless on which side I open this, they are always stored and nicely secured. Let me show you an example with just one side. So again, this is my logo that I put on here and none of the back. So I open it that way, and this fabric is added with a little bit of glue stick, and this lends me a lot of space. So I have a nice rolling area here. You can also see this standard hex pattern here is not the only one. In this case, I made it specially for the dice palette that I use for this character. So this here is Kai's toolbox. So all the dice that I regularly use for her are in here. And I needed to make a little bit of extra room for the chunky 25mm stuff. And that lent me a little bit of a smaller area in here. I put in a little bit of foam to raise up the small dice so they are easier to pick up, so you can easily customize your own box. What I have for you so far: the standard hex pattern here, holding 16 dice. Then I have a rectangular pattern. And then I have Kai's special insert, just in case you might need it, which is a combination of these two. You have some hex patterns on that side and rectangular patterns on here. So you have some space for the chunkier stuff and smaller stuff and your regular dice in here. But that's not everything. I also include a plank version, one as STL and one as a Fusion file. So for all the folks out there working with Fusion, you can just import that and work from that. And that is simply the full body inside here of this. I lowered the surface by 2 millimeters, so you have some room for the fabric underneath. And even without the fabric, a little bit of a gap in between here is not the worst case. Your dice won't slip through that, so that works like a charm. And with that blank, you can either use it as a construction guideline, or so you can cut away what you don't need and make your personalized insert. And yeah, that's so far on the technical end. So we have some inserts, we have some ways to improve our storage, but it should look a lot better. And for that reason, I reached out on Thingiverse and asked folks for some designs that I could put on there. And nicely, two folks reached out to me and they kindly offered me some help. And first, I received some elemental designs with a D20 in the center, and we have some waves for the water, some mountains for the earth, of course, some flames for fire, and some wind lines for the wind. And additionally, on top of that, I also received some artwork for the weapon wearers. So for all your ranged needs, we have a bow with some dice. And for all your melee needs, we have a sword. And for all the folks that are not sticking to some of these themes, we have some more neutral designs, which are these patterns here. There we have some simple lines and a clear D20 in the middle. Or if you like it a little bit more delicate, we have this nice pattern with some dice included in this circle pattern. And the nice thing here is, let me pull that back for you. The nice thing is you can download all this for free. They provided me the files to use for this project. I asked them if they want to be paid in any way, and we agreed finally that I at least send them the boxes that I designed for them. And I will put in some extras. I think that's the bare minimum that I can do. I also linked them down in the description so you can have a look and check them out and leave them a little follow. And maybe you find some useful things over there. Anyways, I'm very thankful for that. And for everyone who wants to support what I do, I have a Patreon, so you can check that out. It's linked in the description. And for example, the monthly free STL file for April is this file, and it will be available for quite a while. So check out my Patreon page, and there's this special version with my logo and a combined version of all the elements. And with that, I wish you a lot of fun printing that stuff, happy dice making, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!